Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Desk with Ryan Potts and Jack Mitchell. I'm Ryan Potts, otherwise known as Splash. You can find me on social media at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm on the U Stadium app as Splash, not as Jack. Sorry, I always screw something up in the intro. You can find Jack on U Stadium as Jack
Splash.
Mitchell. Yeah, as Splash, and on Instagram as Splash_Splash_Splash. Actually, it's Jack_Mitchell_01. It's on the ticker on the bottom because I forgot to update it. Don't worry about it.
It's all
How's
good.
it going, Jack?
Great. What a start. All right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a start. What a start. We're all over the place, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's typical. That's kind of how sports is.
It happens. So, what also happens? J.J. Watt happens.
Ah, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arizona Cardinals are the winners of the J.J. Watt Sweepstakes.
Yes, sir.
File that one on their stuff I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
That was
everyone's like, oh, he's going to go to Cleveland. Oh, he's going to go to Pittsburgh, even though that doesn't make sense. Oh, he's going to go to Green Bay because, Wisconsin boy. Yeah, he's got to go back to Wisconsin. No, he goes to Arizona. Goes up to Glendale, up the road from good old Tucson. So he's maybe the fifth best defensive lineman in the NFC West. How's the breakdown there, Jack?
I mean, he's up there for sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot of huge names in there. Like, there's Nick Bosa. There's, I guess, considering he's a better pass rusher. I already forgot his name. Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams. Yes.
Yes. Do I even need to say the other one I was going to mention? I don't think I need to say his name.
The other 99, he's pretty good.
Yeah, that guy's pretty good at football.
And Javon Kinlaw is kind of cool. He didn't have a great rookie year, but he could be DeForest Buckner in a couple years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Chandler
the
Jones
potential's definitely there.
Jones is coming back. Seattle has Jamal Adams. 9.5 sacks.
Bobby Wagner, forgot to mention him.
He's a good blitzer. If Wagner is schemed up one-on-one, he can get to the quarterback. Now, of course, he's Bobby Wagner, and you don't really want your best linebacker always blitzing. But hey, if it's a change of pace, it works. If it's your gimmick, then that's why Seattle was so bad defensively for a long time this year. And I think J.J. Watt is a good move for the Cardinals. I think he's going to be more of an interior guy. You get Jones, you get Reddick, and Reddick didn't do a whole lot with Jones there. That's my only issue that I have with paying Hassan Reddick. It's that he had a superstar pass rusher next to him, and I don't know if it was Arizona just using him just horrendously, or if it's just Reddick is not good as a number two. Like Bud Dupree, for example, is really good as a number two.
Yeah.
Like if say Baltimore pays him to be the number one, I'm going to jump off a bridge real quick. But he's a good number two. He's a good number three with Tuitt or Hayward there. He's a good number four when you have Watt, Tuitt, and Hayward. But I don't think he would be a good number one. Reddick seems like he'd be a better number one than a number two, which is weird to say. I think Trey Flowers is like the inverse of that up in Detroit. But Watt's going to be, I think, a beast on the interior. He's going to – I know Iupati for Seattle retired, so that's a trouble spot. Damian Lewis is going to get targeted a lot by Watt. And you guys don't have the best interior offensive line. A lot of your strength is in your tackles. And even San Francisco, if they re-sign Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson had a good year, but is that one good year or is that a string of good years coming? So I think Watt can be impactful.
Who's that other guy that we mentioned on San Francisco? I think we were talking about him last year.
McGlinchey is the right tackle.
Was it Armstead?
Oh, the defensive end?
And
yeah. Oh, he's gnarly. He's really good. They did the whole Washington idea of just draft first, or just every year send a first rounder on a defensive lineman, and sometimes you get Solomon Thomas, and sometimes you get Nick Bosa. And Washington,
you never know.
I think has Washington hit on every single first round guy?
There's a chance
because Deron Payne might be the worst one, and he's a pretty doggone good player.
Yeah.
John Allen is a beast. Chase Young is a monster.
Chase Young, probably their best for sure.
Kerrigan has been productive for about 10 years now. Montez Sweat has been fantastic. The only time they've screwed up is the Dwayne Haskins pick, really.
Yeah.
So That's kind of wild. Washington is.
This is kind of why we put
first-round
Washington so high in the division too, because like
Yeah.
they had such a good couple of years drafting
Mhm.
these pass rush. It's like it's insane. Like they have the best pass rush in the division.
And
If they can get other holes fixed on their team, there's a real shot that they could actually contend.
yeah, they could very seriously, not only win the division, they almost beat Tampa this year. If that's not Heineke's first start, he balled, but if your offense is a tiny bit better, I think they beat Tampa. And Washington's not a team that you want to take lightly. There's good defenses around the league that generally don't have a great offense. The Rams have a limited had. Stafford takes. There's a lid with Goff. Stafford says, "Whoop! Hey, there you go, Rams, all the way up to the ceiling." So it's like Pittsburgh has a limited offense. Will it be limited in 2021? I don't know. I'm not Kevin Colbert. I don't really agree with him getting Ben back. I'm actually very happy that they get Ben back because I know they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. But hey, it is what it is. I guess it is what it is.
He's serviceable, I guess, but he's not. I don't think he's good enough to win the division yet.
I don't know. It's weird. Like I saw in the app someone posted who's going to win the AFC North, and a lot of people are like, "Well, Baltimore has Lamar Jackson, so you can throw them out."
People really love to hate Lamar Jackson for some reason.
Yeah, it's like I understand the playoff, like underperforming in the playoffs. I get that, but it's the regular season. The Ravens won the division in 18 with Lamar starting 7 games. They won the division in 19 with Lamar starting 15 games. And there's a very, very, very good chance they win the division in 2020 if he starts the game against Pittsburgh. Because, RG3 and Trace McSorley kept that a one-score game. Now, granted, there was a miracle Hollywood Brown touchdown in there. I get it. But Lamar Jackson is better than RG3. There's a reason RG3 is not employed, and there's a reason Lamar Jackson's about to get a 5-year, $200 million contract. Something in that ballpark.
And we've mentioned before on the show that his player, like he got the number 1 player in the NFL's top 100. And again, that's like a player thing. Like his peers voted him as the number 1 guy. So he's definitely earned the respect of the league.
Right. Yeah, he's a guy that I feel the same way with Orlando Brown. It's a guy that, like, I'm not going to necessarily have as like this elite player, but the players love them and the coaches love them. And there's a chance Orlando Brown gets traded for a first-round pick, and I don't think I think he's a good tackle. I think he's a very good tackle, but first round, I'd be happy with the first-round pick. And then you have Lamar, who's a guy that a lot of people call him a running back. NFL players are like, this guy is unguardable. Like, he has to make the mistake. You cannot force him to make mistakes unless you're Pittsburgh, but you cannot force him into stuff. You just have to hope and pray that he throws it to your defensive back. It's that Mahomes thing that you're not stopping him. Like, even his games that he gets shut down, he has 500 yards against the Titans. He gets
except for
down.
the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, with Mahomes. Yeah, that was – but even then, he was
I still thought it was a good effort from him.
Oh, yeah, he had that – he was, like, parallel to the ground, just launched it. Should have been intercepted by Devin White. Let me preface with that. That was the number 100 play on the top 100 plays of the season from the NFL YouTube account. And I'm like, that should have been intercepted, though. Why are you – 1, it's an incomplete pass. Anyways. 2, Devin White really should have picked that pass off. But he didn't. 4th and 10, Super Bowl, you're down 22. Remember, you're down 22. It's not like it's one-score game. So, hey, we just went on a total tangent. From J.J. Watt to Patrick Mahomes underperforming in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Welcome to the sports desk, ladies and gents.
Tangents everywhere.
Oh, man.
Speaking of J.J. Watt, though, and speaking of guys who are kind of hard to tackle, quarterbacks who are kind of hard to tackle, we got Mr. Russell Wilson in the NFC West.
Yes, we do.
For now. For now. We want to emphasize that because there's a real I feel like it's starting to be like a real chance that he doesn't play in Seattle soon. Like, if he does play in Seattle this year, it probably could be his last year. I
don't buy it all. Like, if you guys tuned in, guys and gals tuned in last night to the show, Nick was a little skeptical that he wants to go to Chicago. Historic franchise, but Matt Nagy, Chicago Bears offensive line. Like, I think highly of Nagy, and I know he's dealt with Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky, 2 out of the 3 stooges of the NFL quarterbacks. But hey, he has, applied lipstick to a pig and made the playoffs at 12-4 in 2018. And then this year they made the playoffs at 8-8 because Kyler Murray decided to get injured, I guess. And Jack's over here thinking
that was such a ridiculous story. Like before the game, he literally said he was fine. Like we were expecting a battle of the backups between Wolford and I don't even remember their backups name.
Right? Chris Trevler, number 15.
Chris Trevler, yeah. And I was like, it's the battle of the backups for sure, 100%. And then Kyler Murray says he's playing, and I'm like, well, shit, it doesn't look good. And then his first series ends with Aaron Donald sacking him, and he spends the next 2 quarters walking in and out of the locker room.
Yeah, he was no sprinting to the bathroom like Lamar Jackson, but
nope, he was he was hurt for sure. And I was thinking, he said before the game he was fine. Was he?
I don't think so. So I'm gonna go on a little tangent. I'm gonna do a quick question for you. If you're in the Hunger Games, right, and you're allowed to choose one NFL player to help you out, you can both win. If you're the last two, you both win. Who do you pick?
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I was
Who else? Who else would it be?
I think a lot of people are saying Aaron Donald because that man is 6 foot 290, moves faster than you, and is trained with knives. Come on now.
Who else?
Come on now. Oh man!
If he's fully healthy, that is, because we saw the other side of that coin.
Good point. Even he had 15 pass rushing snaps against Seattle, had 6 pressures. He single-handedly made Mike Iupati retire. Number 99 in blue and yellow is a menace to society. He's a bad man. Ooh, I got Quentin Nelson. That's
interesting. That's an interesting one
because I listened to a PFF podcast with Joe Thomas, and he was talking about how offensive linemen get heavier from mass, to a force equals mass times acceleration, #physics.
And we're bringing science to this.
Yeah. So that you get that incredible mass and without losing too much speed. But then you have guys say Orlando Brown in his 40-yard dash. He's way too big to be running a 40-yard dash. He's more short area explosiveness, even hands, the force there is just massive. And the best guards, the best offensive linemen in general can get up to 350, 360 and not lose that elite athleticism. Have you seen the clip of Larry Allen chasing down a running back or chasing down a cornerback?
I might have seen that.
I need to find it. I don't want to get copyright claimed, but
yeah.
Okay.
That's probably worth checking out.
Yeah, here we go. Larry Allen chasing down a guy. Make sure you search that up on YouTube after you finish watching the show. It is kind of special to watch a man that large move that fast.
It's crazy when you think about it. How are these people so big?
Yeah.
And they're able to just move the Flash, basically.
Yeah, essentially. He is a large human being, and he is faster than a lot of NFL players. You had a 40-yard dash with Larry Allen and an average wide receiver, I might choose Larry Allen, and Larry Allen might double them in weight. Oh man, love me some Larry Allen.
Anyway, we went on that tangent, but back to Russ.
Yes,
absolutely.
Does he
if he actually really is unhappy with Seattle, which I can understand, considering he's the team it feels like has been stagnant like crazy the last couple of years. It feels like they're really good when they need to be in the regular season, but then suddenly the playoffs come around and they burn out. They're not playing well. They lose games they shouldn't lose. This just happened last year. They should not. I would tell you, whenever I was in a voice chat party with people during that Seahawks-Rams playoff game, and when Jared Goff had to come in, everyone was like, oh boy, there's no way we're going to win this game. No way. And then the pick 6 happened, and we were like,
Darius Williams just went from I consider him a god tier right now. I love watching his tape. I love watching him play with Ramsey. I love I love that entire LA secondary. Darius Williams single-handedly made me like watching cornerbacks in film. J.C. Horn, Asante Samuel. Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, but Russ, again with our tangents. Russ, it's been a rough stretch for him ever since the Super Bowl, and I feel like if he wants out, I mean, does he go to Chicago? He says he, according to reports, apparently he likes what's going on there. He likes Matt Nagy. He likes the offensive line, and the NFC West just seems to be getting better like every single season. Like you had guys like Nick Bosa coming in, Jalen Ramsey comes in, now JJ Watt's here. Offensively, guys like Matt Stafford just showed up. DeAndre Hopkins. People for San Francisco are starting to.
Deshaun Watson, maybe. Ooh,
that's a spicy take.
Deshaun Watson to San Francisco, and San Francisco is the favorite in the NFC. Sorry about your Rams, buddy, but
not a fan.
Not a fan. Okay, speaking of being a fan, I want to see Deshaun Watson in Denver. Like point blank, if there was a team, if I was playing Madden and I could put Deshaun Watson on any team and just make it work, Deshaun Watson in Denver.
Yeah.
Sort of Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Alberto. I don't even want to try to pronounce his last name on air because that would be a meme in 2 seconds. Solid offensive line. Garrett Bowles had an unbelievable year and a good running game. And that defense is, getting Vaughn back. Bradley Chubb, Justin Simmons I think he just got tagged. Alexander Johnson's a stud. Bryce Callahan's a stud. Vic Fangio can coach a defense. That team, hot take. Here we go. Hot take.
Here we go.
A little early. If the Broncos.
Oh, do we have the meter?
Oh wait, no, I need to get it from Henry. Oh no.
Yeah,
okay.
we need to get the meter. We need to get the meter.
Okay. We're gonna stall. Okay, so hot take. This is a spicy take. Maybe not quite as spicy as you might think, but is it from? Yeah, it's from Henry. Okay, here we go. We got Deshaun Watson to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Absolutely. They just win. They just win the darn Super Bowl.
Before I say what that is, we need to reveal the meter to our
Do you have
fan.
it by chance, or is it in the work chat?
I think it's in the work chat.
Okay. Okay, let me try to airdrop it, and then we're gonna lose connection. That's gonna be great. Here we go. So we have a buddy Henry, great graphics designer. Made everything you see on the screen besides my face and Jack's face. Sorry about that, Henry. But he made this beautiful, beautiful thing for us. As soon as it loads on my laptop.
Wait for it. This is
it's gorgeous. Yes, I have way too many tabs open, and
I knew there was one thing I was forgetting.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I forget to wake up in the morning. Today I forgot to grab this graphic. What's the best time to wake up in the morning, Jack?
I wake up at 8. I sleep in a little bit.
That's sleeping in for you?
Well, no. There's been worse times for me to wake up.
Okay, here we go. We found it.
I'm lazy, bottom line. I shouldn't be lazy, but there I am.
Application window, JPEG. Bump it. All right. Bump it. We have the hot take-o-meter.
Let's go.
Yeah. Woo. Let's go. And Tixa, absolutely. 8 is sleeping in. All right. If the Denver Broncos.
It's not sleeping in. I was exaggerating. Anyway.
If the Denver Broncos were to trade for Deshaun Watson, Carolina Reaper hot take, they win the Super Bowl. They go 14-2. They
14-2.
Yeah, they sweep the Chiefs.
They sweep the Chiefs.
They sweep the Chiefs. They sweep the Chiefs. They sweep the Chiefs. It's probably not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because he doesn't fit John Elway's quarterback. I think at a certain point, John Elway might prefer some Chris Streveler over Patrick Mahomes. But hey, if Deshaun Watson goes to Denver, Denver wins the Super Bowl.
Okay. To be honest with you, though, I wouldn't hate to see that kind of thing happen because the Broncos need some kind of quarterback stability. I'm pretty sure Fangio or someone over there said that there would probably be competition for Drew Lock to start this year. And it's just
I've been
another year of this. Another year of this. I as a fan of the NFL, I like to see something I like to see is like quarterback stability with each team, because it makes each team a little easier to like kind of follow and like kind of what are you getting out of this team with the quarterback this year. And Denver just hasn't had it since Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
It's been ridiculous. So
yeah, it's scary. And even if Denver has a competent quarterback, I'm talking they had Cutler, they had Orton, they had Jake Plummer, competent quarterback, they are a perennial playoff team. But there's a reason this like 2016 to 2020 stretch is no exaggeration the worst in franchise history.
It's terrible.
They're not even a bad team, and this is
that's the thing. Like they have so much talent, and they have a lot of pieces, and they just can't.
And it's not. They don't go 2-14. They don't go 3-13. This is the worst stretch in the history of the franchise. Like, come on now. What other team is like that? It's like the Ravens because they started in '96. That's about it. That's every team that's avoided a bad 5-year run. Like if you're talking like stability of a franchise, I don't think there's a worse, or I don't think there's a better option than Denver. Like
I don't think there's a better guy to go to get stability than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you have Deshaun Watson, you're going to get him for 10 years. As long as I haven't seen a bad Denver team. Like I've seen bad teams from almost every other team in the league. Well, besides the Patriots because I'm 19, but every other team has at least been
year.
Good point, but they still beat the Ravens.
True.
So,
But whether.
They I don't think I'm allowed to say the words that they did to the Chargers. Like,
oh boy,
NSFW, like they did that to the Chargers. 45-0. But like, outside of the Patriots, I have seen like bad teams for every organization besides Denver. New England and Denver have been the best. Although I haven't seen a bad Pittsburgh team, but they weren't very good in like 02-03. I don't remember.
Speaking of that division, by the way, we're going to go on another tangent here because
All
what
right.
do you know?
Yeah,
some breaking news that the Raiders are releasing Richie Incognito.
Huh. He was, I know he's a terrible human being. I don't know if he cleaned that up after he left Miami. I haven't met the guy. I don't want to I don't want to throw the stones, but he did get cut from the Dolphins for bullying. So that's a fact. He was not a very good teammate, according to everyone I've heard in Miami. He's a really good guard, though. Like, he was up in Buffalo. He was a Pro Bowl caliber guy, maybe even an all-pro caliber guy. Of course, Quentin Nelson's like kind of just decided, ooh, I'm going to be the all-pro left guard for the next 10 years, and you can't stop me. No one can stop him. And there's a good reason that Nelson chose him as his guy in the Hunger Games. But Incognito is a good player, had been a good player. I know he's getting up there. He might be 38 right now.
Yeah.
But interesting to see from the Raiders. That's the one part of their team that I really like, the offensive line. The offense as a whole is very good. The defense, I think we could score on the defense. Like 2 on 11, you and I. Do you think, how many points would we score?
Against the Raiders?
Yes. Your boy Corey Littleton.
I don't know.
I think we score against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like if we get like a U Stadium All-Stars, like get Jason at quarterback, we get like me at like left guard. I think we can score against the Raiders. They're not going to get any sort of pass rush,
Yeah.
Clement Farrell, Arden Key's is still on the roster, I think. Max Crosby. I'm obviously joking. They're probably not even the worst defense in the NFL, but it just doesn't look good. Corey Littleton wasn't very good in coverage, and that was one of his good things that he did.
That's a shame. I hate to see that happening to Corey Littleton. I really wish we brought him back, but he's not playing like we should have.
No. Yeah, it was a rough season all the way around for the Raiders. They started out so hot. They were 6-3. They were going to make the playoffs, and then
what happened? They beat the Saints.
Oh, yeah, they beat the Jets. Remember that? Greg Williams called it all-out
the zero blitz.
Oh, my good Lord. I mean, I understand what he was trying to do. Like, Baltimore's done similar things, but Baltimore was up 2, and they needed to stop Baker Mayfield. The Jets are totally fine. If
Oakland.
If Las Vegas kicks a field goal, Las Vegas loses. All you have to do is stop the deep pass. And what do? Oh, you all out. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff, Jets. And Greg Williams was not employed by the Jets 24 hours later. Good job, boys and girls. It was, oh, man. Oh, boy.
This is...
Okay, let's go back to Seattle for a second. I wrote an article a couple weeks ago, my power ranking article. And here's what I said. I'll read it verbatim. Seattle has spent the last few seasons polishing a ball of dung. Sure, it looks nice. It wins games in the regular season. However, by the second week of January, the world remembers that Seattle is a barren roster being carried by the 2012 draft class and Pete Carroll's jaw.
Accurate.
Yeah, I don't think I've said 25-ish more words that have ever been more accurate.
It's legit the SpongeBob meme where he's like spraying the trash can.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever seen like a gold bar in a trash can?
Yeah,
that's Seattle.
or like that golden trash bag. Bottom line,
it is a whack organization up there. The 12th man, I get it. You might be better off having fans than some of the guys they've employed over the last.
Maybe that's the reason why they lost the playoff game at home, or they lost to the Giants at home, because they had no fans. Their 12th man was gone. Or sorry, the 12s were gone.
Now the 12s. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's just a terrible organization. Or not a terrible. It's a good organization. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
What Seattle does, they're always very good. Not a very good roster, though. You have the stars. You have Wagner. You have
Ross, Metcalf,
Lockett. You have Chris Carson. People think he's good. I guess
Chris Carson's not terrible, but he's not great.
I love how now we're affiliated with NFL players and we're just taking shots at other ones. Oh, man. It's like Jamal Adams, he's really good, but Dunbar, actually, I don't think Dunbar played this year. I'm thinking of Griffin, Shaquille Griffin, he's good, right? Quandre Diggs, he's good.
Quandre Diggs is actually pretty good.
Yeah, like what else do you have, Seattle? What's your play in the trenches? Oh, I do like Dwayne Brown. I do like Damian Lewis. I wanted him in Baltimore, but he can't pass pro.
Bottom line, that's just been
can't pass pro.
That's just kind of been like the biggest like hole that this team has had is in the trenches, and like now with guys like Donald, Bosa, Watt now coming in, kind of makes sense that Russ wants out. Like he's complaining about how the team is not doing well against this kind of stuff, and now the opponents are just getting better and better. Yeah,
it's hard to win in that division, and I know Seattle makes the playoffs every year. I get it, but there's a reason they don't win in the playoffs, and you can bring it back to Baltimore if you want. There's a reason Baltimore and Seattle don't. Sorry about that. There's a reason Baltimore and Seattle. Sorry about that again. There's a reason Baltimore and Seattle don't win in the playoffs. They have these fundamental flaws with their roster. And say what you will about the Baltimore roster, say what you will about the Seattle roster. Yeah, it wins 10 games, but do you trust them to beat the Bills in the playoffs? No. Do you trust them to beat the Rams in the playoffs? No. Do you trust them to beat anyone in the playoffs?
Not really. They couldn't beat Dallas in the playoffs in 2018.
Well, to be fair, they didn't have a kicker that game.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe you get the watermelon onside kick and you beat Dallas. Instead you had to go for 2 and that screwy thing. Although Michael Dixon, admirable.
Oh yeah, no, Michael Dixon is really good.
Yeah, lots of good punters in the NFC West.
Who was their kicker?
Janikowski that year. Seabass.
No, I'm thinking this year now.
Oh, Jason Myers.
Yeah, Jason Myers is really good.
Yeah, he was.
He hit 61 at the ring in week 10.
That was gnarly. Yeah.
It was against my team, and I was like, that is impressive as shit.
Yeah.
Like that was really good.
Greg Zuerlein for a long time too. He was like,
we did
55, 58.
Yeah.
Was it a 59-yard field goal to be the Saints in the 2018 NFC title
57.
Game? Okay, well, that's just as impressive. And according to Chiefs fans, if you can make a 58-yard field goal, you're the greatest kicker of all time. Man,
thanks, Chiefs. We beat them by a field goal, so
Chiefs
anyway.
fans tangent real quick.
Oh boy.
As much as they love Patrick Mahomes, they love Patrick Mahomes, I get it. Mahomes is the number 2 player in the NFL behind your boy number 99. They love Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker can do no wrong. Like if Harrison Butker was on the FBI's most wanted list, Kansas City fans would rave, and it's like, what? He misses an extra point every single week without fail. He might hit from 55, but he can't hit from, 32? It's like, goodness, 33, right?
Yeah.
Oh my! He missed a field goal against Baltimore. He missed an extra point against several teams. I get that he's a really good kicker, but greatest of all time. You do realize number 9, where there's a guy that wears number 9 in Baltimore. Or
That's
Jason
not even a bias thing either. Like Tucker is insane.
Yeah, like Tucker's the most accurate kicker ever. Like that's the one you can say, oh, Lamar Jackson isn't that good. Oh, Ronnie Stanley isn't that good. Oh, this guy's Justin Tucker is statistically the best kicker of all time. I don't say he's the GOAT because Vinatieri exists, but hey, Tucker's the most accurate. So like that, the one position you can say here is here is the best. Justin Tucker is the best kicker. Jason Sanders is right there. He has been nailing stuff the last couple of years. All-Pro this year, deserving All-Pro this year. So shout out to Miami fans. Justin, Hotep, my boy Connor, our coworker Connor.
And then shout out to Austin, who says laughs and Sam Sloman. That's true.
Oh,
Sam Sloman was a disaster, and it was worse too because when he nailed that kick at the end of the Week 17 game, I was just sitting there like saying to myself, why couldn't he do that for us? What was that like? It was like at least a 30-something yard kick. He misses those kicks like once a game. It felt like, and then he hit it in off the post to win against the Texans.
Oh man. Scary times.
Kickers.
Kickers are weird, man. They used to be barefoot kickers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like Tom Dempsey didn't have half of a foot, and he was kicking 63-yard field goals. So that's not even at mile high. Like I love me some Matt Prater. He can bomb it 64. He can probably hit 64 up in Detroit in the dome there. Tom Dempsey hit from 63 at sea level. Like that is
wow,
superhuman. I think like. Prater hit from 64, Jason Elam hit from 63 up in Denver. Let me think. Janikowski, I believe, hit from 63 up in Denver as well. And
Zerline has hit from 63 or 61 at some point, I think.
Gano hit from 63, right? He hit a game winner against the Giants when he was still with the Panthers, right? I think Jake Elliott's hit from 63.
Who was the kicker for it was Joey Sly, right? For the Panthers?
I feel so bad for Joey Sly fantasy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, I think he was going from 65. I think against the Chargers, or not against the Chargers, against the Saints.
Chiefs. And he had one against the Saints that would have like tied the record, broken the record.
It would have broken the record. He was it was 65, and it came like an inch away from the crossbar. It was so close.
And then remember the Chiefs game? They had him trot out from the Carolina side of the field, 68 yards to beat the Chiefs. Like. That's a -2 in some leagues, -1 in other leagues. Joey Slice, how are you getting negative points? Joey Slice, like no one in the history of the NFL has kicked from 65 yards and made it. Like what? Why are you losing points? I love how this is the second most like potent rant I've had in the last 2 weeks. Joey Sly fantasy owners, I feel bad for you. Send me your Venmo. I'll send you I'll send you $2 because he had 65-yard missed field goals. Also, Alec, yeah. I want to say it was 61. He was 6 for 6 on field goals that night, though. That's when this
that's crazy
for real. Yeah, we had some crazy games against the NFC North that year.
I think Zerline, he didn't hit from like that far away, but I'm pretty sure he had a game against Dallas in 2017 where he was 7 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
He hit from 61 once, right? Greg Gillette.
Yeah.
So he's a
anyway.
Really I love how we spend half the time talking about kickers.
We are going off on tangents like crazy. Might as well call it the tangent desk.
All right. Well, one guy we know the Jags aren't going to draft number 1 overall is a kicker, which really sucks. But hey, I mean, they have the ghost of Jason Myers, right? He can make field goals for the Seahawks. Why can't his ghost make field goals for the Jaguars? Do they have Rosas for a little bit too? I don't remember who they had this year because they were not relevant for fantasy. And
I don't
that's
even
a lot
know.
of the relevance with kickers. It's like, can they score 10? Can they score 10 points in fantasy? Jaguars kickers, no. Most other teams, yes, but Jaguars, no. But the Jags might go after Zach Wilson. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. Like you would think, there's no like guaranteed anything. Like, obviously, the consensus is Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine though the roller coaster. I'm just gonna like be theoretical here for a moment here. Imagine the roller coaster of emotion that Jets fans are feeling if they actually do take Zach Wilson first overall.
And
So
then you like
after
trade
all
him.
the heart attacks, they beat the Rams, which gave me a heart attack.
And then the Browns too.
They beat the Browns the next week. They destroy their own tank, and at the end of the day, they still get Trevor Lawrence. Can you imagine how it would feel to be a Jets fan?
Well, Jets fans, I know like 5 of you are listening probably because everyone at heart is a Jets fan apparently. Let me tell
As
you.
a Jets fan, I can confirm I'd lose my mind.
Let me get in real close so you can see all the flaws in my face. And then Alec is going to tell me to shave in a couple minutes. The Jets are not going to draft Trevor Lawrence because he's not going to be there. There's going to be a zero. There's a big zero. I'm drawing a zero. You can't see it. I can see it because I'm Doctor Strange. There is a 0% chance that the Jets draft Trevor Lawrence because he's going to the Jaguars. The Jaguars are just doing the due diligence. They're just, this is a media thing. Everyone knows they're drafting Trevor Lawrence. They've probably sent the playbook out to Trevor. That we saw with Joe Burrow last year. Burrow was already like probably a quarter of the way.
Burrow had the jersey. You could see him like he was wearing like he had like the cap and the jersey like in his lap like before they announced the pick. Like he was already he already had the stuff ready.
Trevor Lawrence already has like a Taylor's probably already fixed up his jersey, his pants, socks, everything. He probably has a house picked out in Jacksonville. I know his girlfriend actually might be wife now. I know on the Heisman ceremony they were talking about getting engaged or their engagement. Might be wife. I don't know. Significant other. We'll go with that. So Trevor's significant other loves the beach. Jacksonville's down in Florida. Short drive to beaches.
A lot of beaches there.
So Trevor's going to probably love it. He's thrown to, DJ Chark. He's a 1,000-yard guy. Laviska Shenault is a stud. James Robinson is a stud. And the offensive line isn't terrible. I mean, it's not very good. But, hey, you have the 25th pick. You can improve there. You can get Tevin Jenkins at right tackle. You can get Cosme at left tackle. Or what I always do in my mock drafts, I tend to if Kansas City trade up to 25, Jacksonville falls back to 31, and then hey, guess what? You draft Pat Freiermuth, and you have a stud tight end who can block. By the way, I kind of want him in Baltimore, not gonna lie, but Lawrence to Freiermuth for 10 years, 15 years. I think that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before. When we were talking about Trevor Lawrence, how much of an this is legitimately just such a huge he hasn't played a snap. We talked to Mike about this I think 2 weeks ago or something. He hasn't taken a single snap as a member of the team. He might already be their best QB. Yeah, Splash is currently dying.
Okay. Yeah,
you good?
my grape drink didn't. Yeah, now my throat hurts. Now I'm going to be sick tomorrow. Oh dear. Oh, I was sick this time last year too. Rip me. Anyways, what else? What else are we going to rip? We're going to rip the Jets because they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. Do you think they go Wilson or do you think they go Fields?
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm leaning Wilson. Shout out to Adam A. Freiberg on the app. He's a big Fields fan. I respect that. I respect it. I've watched the film.
Honestly, you look at this. They could take either guy and they would not be bad. You could I think they should take Zach Wilson, but if they take Fields, I don't think they're screwed.
Here's the thing. Just mathematically, I understand that Adam and the other Jets fans that want Fields over Wilson. They get mad that 90% of mock drafts say Wilson. I get it. Mathematically, that shouldn't happen, but it ends up happening when your 2A is a tiny bit better than 2B. This is a Brady over Peyton thing. It might be 1A, 1B, but generally Brady is 1A. So you're going to have it's going to skew towards Brady against Peyton or against Montana, Breeze, Rodgers, Mahomes, whomever. It's going to skew towards Brady. So it's only a little bit better. I think Justin Fields is going to be a very good NFL quarterback. I think Zach Wilson is going to be a very good NFL quarterback. There's a lot of factors that go into being a good NFL quarterback. Some guys just have it, some guys don't, and some guys don't Like, take Sam Darnold. I was never the biggest fan of Darnold. I don't remember who I had number 1 overall in my mock drafts that year.
I think I had Baker. That was a weird year.
Because I think there was an argument. Well, there was an argument for everyone but Lamar to go number 1, and then Lamar's like somewhere. Like, I usually had him going to the Cardinals at like 15, 16.
He was 32nd. He was last in that round.
Yeah, but Baltimore got a steal there. Great draft from Baltimore. You got Orlando Brown, Hayden Hurst, who got flipped for J.K. Dobbins, which running back, whatever. Mark Andrews, Pro Bowl tight end. You know, how often do you get an All-Pro MVP quarterback and then 2 Pro Bowlers? And Deshaun Elliott's a good player too. He was picked in the 6th round. So exciting times, hey.
And of course, all this Jets talk doesn't matter if they end up getting Mr. Watson. So
right, I could see that happening. I could also see. I think one of the hot takes was that they trade down and still get a quarterback.
Yeah,
you know, I still like the idea of them drafting Penny Sewell, and I think it's a little overblown of moving one of them to right tackle because let me here we go. We're going story time. Ravens drafted Orlando Brown Jr., right? His dad, Orlando Brown Sr., may he rest in peace, was left tackle for the Ravens. That's why Orlando Brown wants to move to left tackle. That's one of the reasons. Like, yeah, he gets paid more, but his pops played left tackle for the Ravens. And he is living out that dream. And I totally respect Orlando for that, and I hope he finds a home. Hopefully it's the Chargers, so the Ravens get the number 13 pick. I wish Orlando the best of luck if he moves on from Baltimore. I don't think the left tackle versus right tackle thing matters as much to a lot of other players. Now, it might matter to some. There are some that probably want to play left tackle. There's some that probably want to play right tackle. But I think it's a little overblown moving like Sewell to right tackle because there are a lot of good rushers that work on the left side of, the right side of the offensive line, left side of the defensive line. That's what J.J. Watt does really well. That's what Aaron Donald does really well. That's what a lot of star pass rushers do. They move around. What's the point of having – Aaron Donald's an anomaly. But what's the point of having Khalil Mack run into David Bakhtiari the entire game? Seriously. No, just move him to right tackle. It was Bulaga for a long time. Now it was Rick Wagner, former Raven. And now they're probably going to draft maybe Jalen Mayfield. I don't know.
Just consider your matchups.
Yeah, move Mack around. Move Hicks around. Just move guys around. Then – like if you're Aaron Donald, yes, he can beat anyone in the NFL. If you have Lawrence Taylor, J.J. Watt, they can beat anyone in the NFL. But J.J. Watt, just move him around. Why bother if he's going to be the center, like interior defensive lineman for Arizona? Why do you want to line him up against Laken Tomlinson every single snap? Why not line him up against the center? Who I'm blanking out his name. Is it Richburg?
I don't know. It's
like something like Richburg. Like, move him around a little bit. You don't want a guy going up against the same. Also, Alec, you get more recognition as a left tackle. I agree, but I think there's a lot of people in the NFL that realize, hey, right tackles are just as valuable. Lane Johnson, Mitchell Schwartz, Ryan Ramczyk, they are great right tackles, and they all have right-handed quarterbacks. The only blindside right tackle is about to be Austin Jackson because Penny Sewell should go down to Miami. It's more about the right-handed quarterback's blindside. I've heard Joe Thomas has talked about that it doesn't really matter when you have guys from everywhere. It was an outdated belief, say Lawrence Taylor would line up a lot of times at right outside linebacker, so he's rushing against the left tackle. So he attacks the blindside. But good quarterbacks think better than Daniel Jones. Good quarterbacks realize that, and they're going to see, oh, hey, look, there's a good edge rusher. We're going to get the ball out a little bit faster. I feel a splash fact coming up soon.
Haven't we already had some?
Yeah, I'm sure every 3 words, I guess. It happens. So yeah, there's my tangent. I wish Orlando the best. I have an Orlando Brown account on the U. Fun fact.
Anyway, we get to move on now. Well, we'll bring that up really quick. Only problem with taking Sewell is that Darnold would be your QB. Again, Deshaun Watson still out there.
Good point. And they still have other draft capital, you know, and you have to pick at 23 and you have 2 first-round picks next year. What's to say you take – okay, here we go. Let's put our mock draft hats on. I don't have my tinfoil hat today. We're going to use my water bottle today. That's is a tinfoil hat. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm holding it. Okay, Jets. Trade number 23 pick, originally from not you guys, right? From Seattle. And one of their first next year, they trade up, I don't know, get Mac Jones, get Trey Lance, get someone. I know that's not who you really want in Wilson/Fields, but hey, you get an elite right tackle, an elite left tackle, Mekhi Becton, and you get a good quarterback.
I think that the Jets definitely have pieces for sure. So
yeah, absolutely. I think defensively they're very good.
Yeah, their defense is kind of underrated.
Yeah,
there was the whole the zero blitz thing.
But it's not like Lamar Jackson's fault, the cornerback for the Jets. I think he was the one that got burned by Ruggs on that play. It's not his fault that Greg Williams called a zero blitz. Like that's putting your rookie undrafted corner in a terrible spot. You know, and I think a lot of the anti-Jet stuff, it's the offense a lot of the time. Like they had an abysmal offense. Like I don't know if you were watching football in like 2009 when the Rams scored like approximately 2 points per game. But I know you saw the 2018 Cardinals. That was a bad offense.
That was terrible. Offense, we shut them out. Like, to give you an idea, we shut them out, and they did not advance the ball past the 50-yard line until the last play of the game. And by then, they were already down like 34-0. It was like, this is supposed to be an NFL team. Like, it was terrible.
I think the Arizona Wildcats may have had a better offense that year. That was the year Khalil Tate ran for 330 yards against Colorado. Yeah. I think Khalil Tate was at that point a better player than Josh Rosen. So bad. It was so bad.
I feel bad for Josh Rosen, but he hasn't been in it.
I mean, yes, I would feel very bad for Josh Rosen, but he's had a QBR in the 20s, both of his years when he started. Yeah. It's like 20-ish as a Cardinal, 19 as a Dolphin.
To get taken 10th overall, I think it was. He was
9 mistakes ahead of him. 9 mistakes ahead of him.
Yeah, so 10th overall, and
yeah, we're gonna throw up the graphic for that one. Carolina Reaper take Josh Rosen says there were 9 mistakes made ahead of me. Okay, yeah. A little loopy there. And you 22 picks later, you have an MVP quarterback. You know, was it 8 picks later? You have an All-Pro. Was Minka 18?
I'm trying to think about who the Rams took that year and seeing if I can say.
7 picks later, you have Derwin James, who, when he's on the freaking field, if he does.
Yes. Don't call him the best. Do not call him the best. I will.
Derwin James is the best safety in the NFL when he's on the field, but he's no longer on the field because he's injury prone and he's only played 5 out of the last 32 games. Okay, there we go. There's my Derwin James rant of the day.
Beautiful.
Oh.
That's my point.
Derwin James.
That's my point. Exactly my point. When he's on the field, he's insane.
He's so good.
But he's never on the field.
Was it against the Rams that he ran out of bounds at the 1 yard line?
Yes, I was there for that game, and it was hilarious to watch him lose his mind after he was just completely stunned. Like his entire defense ran down to the opposite end zone for like the picture celebration and stuff. And then he comes back and he's like, "Wait, what do you mean I was out at the 1?" And you can hear a collective gasp from the little Chargers fans that were in existence. It was like, oh no. And I was just sitting there like, block the freaking punt.
And didn't you guys score or get a
Yes, that's exactly what happened. They blocked the punt. Like literally I shouted, block the punt. 2 seconds later, Corey Littleton.
What? Oh man, we love the Chargers. We love to laugh. Oh, you love to laugh at the Chargers. I
do. I can't really do that though because of the new podcast, but
hey, I have a Chargers jersey. I showed it to Hunter and Sean yesterday.
They are free agents, though, so, I mean, we'll see.
Sean's with the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But
Hunter's a free agent. No, we don't have any answers. We don't know if he's staying in Los Angeles or going to your favorite team.
Go to the Rams.
I don't think he's going to go to the Rams.
No, we don't. I don't think we need another tight end.
I have no idea.
Maybe a depth tight end because Higbee's staying, but Everett's probably gone, so.
I will say that your boy Brandon Staley has been a good influence on Justin Herbert from what I've read. And I do think the Chargers might be one of the teams that might super value a tight end. So, like, if Henry stays, he's getting a lot of targets. And if Henry doesn't stay, number 13 pick is going to be Kyle Pitts. Or the saucy version is the Ravens and Chargers swap picks. So the Ravens get God himself and Rashawn Slater at 13, and the Chargers get number 27th pick, which could be Pat Freiermuth.
He's gonna get tagged, says Alec.
Yeah, Hunter could be tagged.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
I've talked to him. I don't know. I don't. That was one of the weirdest things. Like, do I call him Mr. Henry and Mr. Culkin, or do I call him Hunter and Sean, or I don't know.
It'd be so weird. I haven't talked to an NFL player like that before, so that would be weird to like.
I met Robert Alford once, but I wasn't like, hi, Robert, or hi, Mr. Alford. I guess I was like 14, so I probably would have called him Mr. Alford if I did call him Mr. Alford. But I don't know. We're running really long on that topic. One quick thing. Yes, the defensive line up in New York is extremely underrated. You just need to find a freaking edge rusher. Your last elite one was John Abraham like 15 years ago. Like, I'm about to be 20, and the Jets haven't had a good edge rusher in 15 years. That's bad. No bueno. Do you want to go to hot takes, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've got a lot. This might be a bit of a longer show, but.
Now let's go to the hot takes real quick. Let me throw up the great graphic. Shout out to Henry, and shout out to IMG_5444 underscore. I think that's a period JPEG down arrow.
That's a period.
Okay. Let me take off the banner because that's easy to do. That's not what I wanted to take off. That's okay. Hide current banner. Here we go. Got producer Splash. We got Jack. All right. Let's head into some hot takes. That's the wrong one. Here we go. U Stadium hot takes. We got a few today. Here we go. Gang Green 24. Dax leaves Dallas.
This is more of, I would put this around probably either Tabasco or Chili DR. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but I don't think it's too much of a hot take that he leaves Dallas because, like I've mentioned countless times on this show before, they keep talking about how they want to extend him. Like, oh yeah, Dak's our guy. Like, Jerry wants to get Dak. So where's the extension? Like, you've talked about him so much about wanting him to stay. Like, so do it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, it's not that simple. Like, you can't just like, oh, just sign him like easy. Like, you can't. It's not that simple. Like, there's a lot of stuff you have to figure out because, like, this is probably going to be a huge deal for him.
And he's coming off an injury,
Yeah.
Do you think he could get tagged? So, I mean, I think he leaves. I don't know. I think this is like, I think Serrano. Like, I don't think it would be shocking if he leaves. I think he stays in Dallas, but I don't think it'd be shocking if he leaves. So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, he should stay. I think realistically, Dallas should do everything they can to keep him. But it wouldn't be too huge of a surprise if he does leave, just because of how long it's taken.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. This is from our coworker, good old Connor Nass. He's pretty good at chess too, although I think I checkmated him the other day. Dolphins win the Super Bowl. Where does it land?
Ghost pepper. Well, maybe more habanero. Honestly, this is win the Super Bowl is like. They could do it, but I don't know how much. It's closer to the top for sure. It's definitely in the top 3 because there's so many pieces on that team, but it's like we have to see them put it together. And like, yeah, anything can happen instead of with Brian Flores as your coach. It opens up a lot of possibility. We know what they can do. There's been a lot of talk though about I think it's either Russ or Deshaun to Miami.
Deshaun.
That would be so weird though, because like you have Tua. You want to build around Tua. You keep saying Tua is your guy, but then you get Deshaun Watson, and if Deshaun Watson isn't your starter, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. I think Tua would probably go the other way in that trade. I doubt they would end up with Deshaun and Tua.
Yeah.
So I think Tua, it's the same thing with Darnold. Darnold would be traded if they get Watson. If they don't get Watson, I don't know, maybe he stays. But, I don't know. I don't think this is too hot. I would probably go Serrano, jalapeno level. I really love what Flores does. And if the Dolphins draft like the way I want to draft, or I want them to draft, so
That's true too.
They trade down, get Sewell, and then they draft, say, Jalen Waddle at 18. I think they can win the AFC East. And if you make the playoffs, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Bears fans, you had a chance to win the Super Bowl. And I think Miami's a scary team. Scary team.
They could surprise a lot of people for sure. Like they're on my radar for sure. Like I still think Buffalo wins that division, but Miami will definitely make it interesting.
I hate making playoff predictions right now because I obviously want to put the Chargers in because they were so good with Herbert and they're going to get like 13th pick and I think they're going to hit a home run with that pick. And it's like, okay, they should make the playoffs. But then Miami's like, just why pick Miami? And I want to pick Miami. I really do. I love Flores. I love their defense. It's just I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. So let's move on to the next one. This is from our boy Tixa. Chocolate milk is the greatest drink of all time.
Greatest drink of all time.
Yes, greatest drink of all time.
Bell pepper.
Ooh. Okay. Story time. Right before this, I know I told Jack before the show, but right before this, I was out playing soccer out on the mall here in Tucson, just sprinting essentially for an hour. I would absolutely down like 10 gallons of chocolate milk right now. So I'm feeling milk tier like this. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I'm drinking like grape water right now. So that's one of my favorite drinks, and I love me some like mixed berry Fanta. I think that's my number one drink. Also water is great. That's what I'm drinking right now, Alex. Nelson, I'm underage, pal. I think both of us are underage, right?
No, I just turned 21 last year, so.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yes. Sorry about that, Nelson. I can't drink rum. But hey, I love chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk is definitely not bad.
Okay,
I haven't had it in a while. I should get back into drinking it because, like, when it's like the regenerative properties it has, it's insane. Like, it can make you feel so much better.
Okay, here we go. This is from Brian H. Terry McLaurin would be the best wide receiver in the league if he had a good quarterback. Ooh, this is a good one. This
is actually a really good one. Tabasco, as we're I'm gonna put that one in the middle because I feel like it's not entirely wrong, but you have guys like DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
you have guys like
Julio Jones still,
Julio Jones,
Devontae Adams,
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, Jefferson is so good, but I hate that he's a freaking rookie because I can't place him in my top 100 without making people mad.
Up there for sure.
Oh yeah, he's so good. He's so fun to watch. I prefer watching corners over wide receivers, but Justin Jefferson's like number one, and then like Samuel and Horn are number two. Like if I had to watch film for the rest of my life, it's Justin Jefferson film.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. This is from. I didn't give a tier. I think this is not a knock against Terry McLaurin, but I think I have to go higher, maybe Habanero, because I think there's like I think he can be an elite tier wide receiver. He can be like a top 5 wide receiver if he had a good quarterback, but it's hard to say like a clear cut number one, Like I think Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
My connection is vanishing. I don't know if
I don't know. Oh well. Whoop-de-doo, I guess.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I would lean Habanero there, Good, unbelievable player. Love watching him. I just don't know if he can be the number one NFL or number one receiver in the NFL. This is from Steel City Jake. Antonio Brown, pound for pound, is the greatest receiver of all time.
No.
Ooh. Are you jumping to Carolina Reaper?
We're talking Carolina Reaper here. We're talking above. Like if we could burst
above?
through the top here. Like above? This is.
Oh my! I don't even remember what I told Henry the hottest pepper was.
It was one of those two, but it's ridiculous. That's no.
Okay, let me be honest. Antonio Brown is really darn good at football.
He is.
I'm gonna break it down pound for pound. I don't know who played at a lighter weight, Jerry Rice or Antonio Brown. If it's Jerry Rice, obviously it's Rice. But I think Antonio Brown, if you say 20 pounds lighter than Rice, I think he has a good argument.
Okay.
I think that's fair. It's like Allen Iverson is pound for pound the best NBA player ever because he was like 160, which is fair because MJ was like 220. So I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I would probably say chili de arbol, or as Nelson said, tree chili, right? Tree chili.
Okay. So we're basically on kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there, but I definitely don't think Antonio Brown is bad. I'll put it that way.
All right. This one, I'm not gonna answer this one. It's all you. This is from Glenn, my boy Glenn. Splash doesn't like women.
You know, we have a lot of trolls on this app.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna leave it at that.
There it is. Okay, this is from Charles. Jets trade down, but take a quarterback first.
I think we've talked about this one before.
Yeah, I think so too. Take a quarterback first. I don't know about that. Maybe they get one at 23.
If you trade down, I don't think you should take a quarterback.
Maybe like they trade down, end up maybe get Sewell. I don't know, and then draft Mac Jones.
If he falls down there, that is.
But even then, like if I don't think that happens. I'd probably go Habanero there.
Yeah.
All right. Let me actually posted about 2 hot takes. Where is it? Here we go. What things would you want to see Jack and I discuss on the show today? Antifa Alex says, hockey. We were supposed to talk hockey, then we talked about Pete Carroll's job.
We had a lot in the plan. We were going to talk about how MLB Spring Training got started.
Yes, I have to write about that in a couple of days. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were going to discuss about how Trevor Bauer almost signed with the Mets because of a merch fiasco.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Fascinating.
Yeah, that was a fun little read.
Hockey talk. The Red Wings suck. The Kings are they were pretty good, and they lost the Wild. I like Vegas's jerseys. Shout out to Alec.
NHL is driving me kind of crazy lately.
We got Nelson Rodriguez, my boy Nelson. Retro NBA jerseys. So he actually asked in the chat, best retro NBA jersey. What's your peak?
That requires some thinking, because there are a lot of good. Like, I can't just deviate and be biased and go right to the Lakers because they've had the same look for God knows how long.
I mean, I could go grab mine. Mine is the 0809 Cavs in the blue, navy blue.
I'd have to look.
Outside of that, let me take down the hot takes. Outside of that, I do like the pinstripe Magic jerseys, Nelson and Alec. Miami Vice isn't retro, but I like the Miami Vice jerseys. Let me think.
That one's good.
Houston, like when the second year they won the title, right? Maybe right after they won the title when they went like all blue. Yes.
That was a weird time.
Yeah, it was very weird. The Pistons also did a similar kind of thing, like the Grant Hill days. They were like a weird like a Mustang logo, like Mustang a horse, not a car. But
it's so weird to think about how crazy different like a lot of these NBA logos used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the Jazz used to have a mountain, and now it's just a music note.
Nope, it is. My pick is the Denver Nuggets, like 1991, like the colorful houses logo. Yeah, that. When I get enough money to buy another jersey, we are buying a Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf jersey. I know I've talked to several people about it. One of the coolest guys that I look up to in the NBA, and he's getting his jersey one day.
I'm just gonna have to get back to you. There's been a lot of good ones over the years. I mean, I guess the Lakers have had some. They've had some different designs, like they have the blue. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd probably.
I like the Minneapolis Lakers, like the MPLS.
Yeah, that one's not terrible.
Yeah,
But you
let's
guys
see.
know how I feel about powder blue.
I love me some powder blue. I got a Whittle jersey. Got Jeb Ball. Should the Yankees bring Jason Giambi back as a coach if Boone doesn't win at all? I think Aaron Boone gets a little bit too much hate because he's in New York. If he was manager of any other team besides the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are absolutely loaded and should win 150 games every year. If you don't win the World Series as the Yankees manager, death by fire, essentially. But I think Boone's a fine manager. It's just he's in New York, so he gets that microscope on him every day.
Yeah.
From Respect, my 40, back half of the NBA season, award predictions, team predictions, coaching changes, trade deadline. You have any words on that, Jack? I have a couple.
Say that again. Sorry, I was looking at my phone.
So NBA season, award predictions, team predictions, coaching changes, and trade deadline.
That's a lot.
Yeah, just throw something out there.
Predictions. I have it's hard. I'm kind of a casual a little bit on the NBA, so I can't really give like the best answer.
I've been watching more Cavs games lately, but I think I have some good takes. I wanted the Celtics to go after Blake Griffin. I posted about that on the app. I think they're missing like an Al Horford kind of player. I know Blake and Al are very different players, but the ability to be a secondary playmaker as a forward is something that Boston desperately needs. Like Tatum and Brown do practically everything for that team. And I get it. I love Tatum. I love Brown. Like Jaylen Brown, been a big fan of his since he was in Marietta. But you need a secondary guy. You need someone that can like step up in a big moment. And, Blake, he might not be Clippers Blake. I get it. He's not going to score 25 a game. He's not going to be second team All-NBA, third place in MVP voting in 2014. I get it. But he can be a solid player. And if he's your number 4 guy, he doesn't have much rim protection. But if he's a solid NBA player. I know I don't want to overrate him because he hasn't been very good in Detroit, but who wants to play in Detroit? Let's be real here. It could be a similar thing to like AJ Green over in Cincinnati. Like, who wants to play for the Bengals? Well, who wants to play for the Pistons? Blake Griffin clearly doesn't want to play for the Pistons. So I think he can be a solid guy in Boston. I think he's going to end up in Brooklyn, though. That's going to be one of the most star-studded lineups in the history of basketball right there. Kyrie, Harden, Durant, Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
Here's a coaching change, but I know this was talked about. I don't know how valuable this is. I could be completely wrong, but I heard that Luke Walton might be on his way out of Sacramento.
I think Kings fans would rejoice.
Yeah, I think they would enjoy. Take it from a guy who had him as the coach. It's not great.
And a player, too.
With LeBron, they missed the playoffs with Luke Walton as their coach. I'm going to put
LeBron
it that way.
played 53 games, though. Award predictions, I think Embiid might run away with MVP.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rookie of the year. I love Halliburton, but I think LaMelo is probably going to post too many triple doubles, too many like 20 and 10 games. I think LaMelo kind of runs away with that. Love Halliburton though. Love IQ up in New York too. And Okoro, people sleep on Okoro because he can't hit a jumper, but the man plays defense. I don't know if he's maybe not a top 10 defensive player, but the man plays defense. People need to put some respect on his name. Trade deadline stuff. Drummond's going to be traded somewhere. He might be a trade. He might go to Brooklyn if they don't get Blake Griffin.
Oh, God, that would be stat.
Andre Drummond isn't very good at basketball, though.
Well, I mean, if they do get, what's his name?
Blake?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a good 4 for them, I think.
I think he would. But, like,
he's a guy. He can make shots. He's a good 3-point shooter. And if you're not running the offense through Blake, I think he can be a very good player. But
yeah.
It's an ego thing, maybe. Like,
thing might be.
Met Blake, but if he says, "Hey, I'm going to be the 4th, 5th guy in this roster, and I can just hit threes for you," I think the Nets might win the finals. I do want to lean Lakers. LeBron is just built different in the playoffs. He hasn't lost an Eastern Conference playoff series since 2010. Now, granted, he's been in the West the last couple of years, but he has not lost a series before the finals since 2010.
Kind of crazy.
Just think about that. He was. Let me think.
Can I accurately call him the Aaron Donald? Like in terms of like of the NBA, like in terms of like current players, like
Oh
active
yeah,
players.
like number one player, even if he's not acknowledged as the number one player.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me think. I mean, respect. Just hit me up on the app. I don't know if you're listening, but hit me up on the app if you have any other questions for me, because I've been trying to get more into basketball, and I know you can like, hey, forget baseball, forget football. You're gonna make some money in basketball. Absolutely, but I don't get paid to write basketball right now.
Alec brings up a really good point. This is something I can accurately comment on. He says in the chat that Dodgers fans wanted Dave Roberts fired after the NLDS lost to the Nationals. Yeah, I did. And I also wanted Joe Kelly on, but then things changed like crazy.
At the Astros.
Yeah.
Is it Bregman, right, or Correa?
Carrera, I think. He was just making that face. Like, it was like, you, sir, are the savior of baseball. You are the absolute savior of baseball. And he literally, they painted the mural of him doing that somewhere in LA, and he posed outside it wearing a Kobe jersey. And I was just like, that's the most alpha thing ever.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Trevor Bauer cheating?
Cheating?
Yeah, cheating.
I didn't hear about this.
So, okay, I wish I had my freaking tinfoil. I don't remember where I got the tinfoil from, but tinfoil hat time. We're going to invert the hat.
I don't have tinfoil.
Okay, here we go. This is, okay, yeah. We're going to go no hat. We're going to go, here we go. Imagine someone just tunes in right now. Okay, Trevor Bauer, when he was with the Cleveland Indians, about to be Cleveland Spiders? I don't know. I hope they are the Cleveland Spiders. I love the Cleveland Spiders name. Go Caps. Anywho, so here's my take. So he had a first inning against some random team. I don't remember who it was, but he was using pine tar, like a mix of pine tar and other stuff, to grip the baseball better. And he went from like a 2,400 RPM to like 2,700 RPM. And for those that know baseball, RPM is more important than straight velocity. Sure, throwing 105 is nice, but hey, if you add 300 rotations per minute to your fastball, you become unhittable.
This kind of thing is always really like
cheating. Remember, he had an unbelievable season with the Reds as a cheater. I don't think it's cheating. I think hitters prefer pitchers that can control the baseball. Like, yeah, they might.
Aren't you allowed to put like pine tar on the ball or no?
Well, not the stuff that Bauer was putting on. That's the problem. So like Garrett Cole is in trouble, remember, and Justin Verlander is in trouble for putting this foreign substance on the baseball. I think it makes a better product, whatever. So Trevor Bauer is a cheater, but he pitches better. Well, that makes sense. But what do you make of that? Do you think it's okay?
Well, if you cheat, you would ideally play better. But I mean, it's weird. It's such a weird subject, honestly, to think about. Like, how much does it affect the game?
Okay, honestly, I think hitters prefer pitchers that can grip the base. So pitchers. Thank you, Big T. Hitters prefer pitchers that can control the baseball. I don't know any hitter that wants to get hit in the face with fastballs. Right?
That's true. If you have better control,
like it's just
you know better.
I know from a competitive aspect, it makes Bauer's fastball better. It makes his pitches better, and I know that as a baseball fan, I would prefer pitchers that can, throw the ball with rotations. Strikeouts can be a little boring, but I love watching. Like, I don't know if you watch Charlie Morton stuff. He's a Brave now. Holy crap, that man has a curve. Like,
yeah.
It just.
He played in.
He was in Houston and Tampa. So he played in the World Series.
Yeah.
Did he have the last out in 2017?
I don't remember.
I think it was Martin. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Bottom line, though, back to Alex's comment, though. Yeah, I did want Dave Roberts fired, and then he redeemed himself. Like 2017, we know what happened there. 2018, not great. And then, but then 2020, like now that there was no I don't think there were any crazy obstacles in his way. You get Mookie Betts. I mean, if Roberts, Roberts was still making some mistakes too.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to judge mistakes. Like I know Kevin Cash got sent through the ringer for pulling Blake Snell. That's smart. I could go on a huge tangent here, but I think I understand. Okay. Yep.
I understand.
We're going on a tangent. Are you ready? Are you ready for the tangent? Okay.
Go for it.
People, I know Alec is a big guy that like doesn't want to go for 2-point conversions, doesn't want to go for on fourth down. Don't use the result of the play to bash the play. Let me repeat that.
Yes.
Don't use the result of the play to bash the play. So Blake Snell gets yanked. Was it not Ryan Anderson? It was he was on my fantasy team. He was really good in the regular season. Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson comes in and immediately allows a double to Mookie Betts, right? That's not Kevin Cash's fault. That's not Blake Snell's fault. That probably not isn't. Well, I mean, it kind of is Nick Anderson's fault. But I understand. Don't say, "Oh, well, you should have kept Snell in." Mookie Betts is a darn good baseball player.
Mookie Betts is like
doubles off of any pitcher in baseball.
Christy
Mathewson comes out there, he gets double.
Literally behind Mike Trout. He's the second best player in the game.
Like
fundamentally and everything. I would if you want to throw this into there. I think this is kind of like cheap to say, but he does have the rings.
Baseball.
Whereas Trout doesn't have a win in the playoffs, but regardless, though, I would still put him at number 2.
Mm-hmm. Like he's up there, absolutely. And again, don't use results to say a decision was bad. I go back to the Minnesota versus Seattle game. Alexander Madison, him failing to pick up that fourth down does not mean it was a bad play call.
No, that's a perfect example. I did not think that was a bad decision at all. It just didn't work, but like that doesn't mean it was a bad choice. Like the play just didn't work out. Yeah,
and like I love Madison, Boise State guy. He didn't hit the hole. You know,
the only exception I can think of this is Super Bowl 49.
Okay, that's fair, but even then, I think that's just an unbelievable play by Malcolm Butler more than anything. Like people forget sometimes that it's a two-way street. You know.
Yeah, it was definitely a good play by Butler. Don't get me wrong, but like the Patriots, like I saw there was like an excerpt of like the "Do Your Job" documentary, or whatever it's called. They had been practicing for that kind of play, and it's kind of unbelievable to think about. Like they were really planning that far ahead for a play like that, where Russ would throw it on the 1,
right,
or something like that.
So
and it's just,
you go ahead.
Yeah, it's there's two sides to the coin, but. Yeah, I feel like that overall, though, thinking about it, like at the end of the day, while they were very well prepared for the pass play, Marshawn Lynch is your running back. Run the football.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch is at that point in time had a historic stretch of breaking tackles and scoring touchdowns. You give it to Lynch. I think they had a timeout left too. So you give it to Lynch, call a timeout, then you have the play of Lockett, you know, and Ricardo Lockett, not Tyler. So again, I disagree with judging the result of the play as like saying the result matters more than the decision. There are some legitimately bad decisions, like when Freddie Kitchens had a 4th and 9 draw against your Rams. That was a fundamentally bad decision.
That was
I don't know
terrible.
if it was Baker's fault. I don't know if it's Kitchens' fault. Whatever. Bad decision.
I'm going to call it Baker's fault. I'm going to call that one Baker's fault because I remember Baker just dropped back for all eternity and nobody was rushing him. Like Aaron Donald didn't even get through. Brockers didn't get through. I don't remember who the hell was on their pass rush back then, but bottom line, nobody broke through the O-line.
Ravens legend, Michael Brockers.
Oh, yes. Anyway, yeah, it was just bad because like they dropped back. Nobody was rushing him. He was fine in the pocket, and he just starts dropping back for no reason. Like,
Baker.
That was bad on more than one front, but I'm going to call that one Baker's fault.
Yeah, but again, just I want to reiterate, bad decision and bad execution are totally different. This is why I think Paul George is right. Like the Damian Lillard shot against the Thunder. Paul George is correct. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible shot. But it looks bad because he made the shot. And I'm like, Paul, don't say that. Like we all know it, but don't say it there because then you look like a sorry loser, you know. And I get it. It's a terrible shot, but it went in. I get it. So just don't say it. We all know it. And this is the thing with Madison. Solid play call, just didn't execute. And there were several chances for Minnesota. Seattle picked up 2 4th and 10s. Minnesota makes one extra play, they win that game. And Mike Zimmer's a genius. He's a defensive guru.
I don't know why. I don't know why this almost reminds me of the Rams-Bills game from this past year, where like there was like the bogus interception in the end zone. Like, aren't you still sitting on a 28-3 lead?
Yeah, it's such a weird game.
Like it was a bad call. It was a bad result, but like you're still sitting on that huge cushion. Like one bad play isn't going to change the game completely.
Absolutely, and it's just sometimes I wonder. This is like a very casual fan take. I think is just like I understand some points you want the result more than the decision. And some players should be good enough, like Damian Lillard, for example, can overcome bad shots. Steph Curry can overcome bad shots. They are objectively terrible shots, subjectively terrible shots, but they make them. That's what makes them special. That's why Curry is that's why he's a pantheon NBA player. That's why Damian Lillard is a perennial All-Star, perennial All-NBA guy. They make those shots that other people just don't, But saying, oh, they made it as a justification for it being a good shot, I totally disagree with that.
Yeah. And on that note,
you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
I
don't really know what else there is to talk about. Next year. Yeah, sure. Next week, we'll definitely be sure to talk about. I said we do it this week, but we kind of ran out of time.
Yeah, it happens. We talk about other things.
Yeah, going off on all these tangents. We'll discuss Washington. We'll discuss their new name and logo ideas that we have for them.
Jack has some of his designs too.
Yeah, I'm working on. I made a logo and I rushed it before the show, but now that I didn't get to use it, now I can actually make uniforms too. So that'll be fun.
Awesome. And you can maybe hit up Boston. You can do a field concept too, right?
That would be fun. That's what I do though.
Oh, okay. Because I know he does some art stuff and it's all.
Yeah, he does. He does the more.
He's great with the.
He's great at this stuff. He does the more advanced art stuff. I just do like field stuff and stuff like that. But
yeah. So
anyway,
we're thinking about doing a giveaway soon. Stay tuned.
Your eyes peeled.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're thinking of something nice and special for our beautiful, beautiful audience of maybe 100, couple hundred every week, right?
Something like that.
Yeah,
we'll grow. But for now, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like
just to have that many.
Love spending 90 minutes talking to you guys. Much better than trying to post on the app and then Alex like, no one listens to these. Shout out to my boy Alec. Go Ravens.
Alec he's a fun guy, honestly. Yeah.
Any final words before we peace out?
We still love to laugh at the Chargers, and we'll do it next week. I guess peace, I can't really think of anything on the spot right now. But
do the Chargers have fans? Yes or no?
No. Maybe a little more this year, but
I tend to agree with that. Herbert's nice. I like Herbert.
They'll probably it's the same deal with both them and the Rams. Their fan bases will grow. They literally just came to the city a couple of years ago. They will grow.
Yeah, and that's I guess the problem with LA. Like I met a guy from LA the other day, and it's just tough because you're competing with the Lakers and USC football.
Like you're competing with the Lakers, the Dodgers. There's like so many teams. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like and even it's only like
and
you can be a Warriors fan, you can be a Giants fan, you can be a Raiders fan, 49ers fan. Those are historic teams.
Yeah, I can confirm though. If you live in the city and you're like me and you root for like 5 teams, that means hating the other 5. So
that's fair. Because I'm sure you hate like LAFC and the Angels and like the Chargers.
Yes.
Oh, also, if my mom or any of my family is watching, Jack is a Rams fan, not a Chargers fan. Stop asking me if he likes the Chargers. He doesn't like the Chargers.
Do they ask you that?
Yeah, they asked me that. It's like, hey, your boy John, he's a big Chargers fan, isn't he? Like, who?
Who? I didn't even use my right name. All right.
On that note,
Alec, you're wrong.
I think it might be time to peace out. I need to get a drink.
Yeah.
Get some more grape water. I'm still recovering from Oh, okay. quick story time. So
Oh,
there's
Jesus.
very quick. So there's a mall here, like just a huge green grass up near the UA main building, right? UA being Arizona. So it gets watered every day, and we were playing soccer like right after they watered it. So like every blade of grass is wet, and it's like 80 degrees right now. Every blade of grass is wet, so it's like it's hot and the water is wet. Duh. It's hot and the water is like. Why do I say water? The grass is still wet, so all of us are like slipping all over the place. There's a couple like. You know how in like FIFA you can do a slide tackle? Well,
Yeah.
we were slide tackling without intending to slide tackle because it's just like, oh, if you run too far, oh, sound effects with splash. Breaking news, I'm going to have a new podcast. It's just called Sound Effects with Splash. Just tune in and you get some. Okay, anyways. So we're playing, right? And I think all of us, or 9 of us, like just at least twice. I only done once, but everyone at least once like just went sliding. So I was like just angling for a cross, just gonna get a nice like diagonal ball across, and I just hit the grass and whoop, ball goes like 2 feet, and I like right into a guy's chest. And it's like, just really, what's the point? And I'm just sitting there like face down. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? So shout out to grass, shout out to water. Peace out, folks.
Peace out. We're done.
We are done. As soon as I